Well, good day everybody and welcome back to Survival NS. Today I want to talk about some of the essential items that you're going to require for your RV or van life while you're traveling on the road to make your life a whole lot easier. So you're not going to want to miss that one. Stick around. Okay, so before I start, let me say this. Now, I've seen some of the videos you folks have been putting out there about RV and van life essentials, and well, maybe I'm just completely out of touch with reality, but camp chairs, folding tables, bed linen, coffee makers, cutlery, I just don't see those as essentials. Those are nice to haves, but if you come across an emergency, I don't think a coffee maker is going to get you out of that emergency. And if you're one of those folks putting out those videos, well, I think you need to revisit the definition of essential. Okay, with that out of the way, let's start this video. All right, let's get into it. Now, for most of us, the thing that we fear most when traveling on the road is getting a flat and then having to change out that tire. Now, there are a few things that you could do to make your life a whole lot easier when fixing a flat or changing out a tire. And one of the things that you should do immediately when you get your van or your RV is know where the tools are and how to use them properly. The last thing you want to be doing is getting acquainted with your tools in a snowstorm or a rainstorm on the side of a dangerous highway with near visibility at zero. But before we get into those tools, I want to say this. The first thing you should do before you start changing out your tire is put on your emergency brake and chalk your tires with whatever you can find. A nice big rock or a piece of wood would do just fine, just so that it doesn't start rocking back and forth and putting your life in danger. All right, so you're traveling down the road and you realize you've got a flat. What are you going to do? Well, the first thing, obviously, what you want to do is to get off of the road. Now, if you've got a nice shoulder to pull over onto, that's great. If you don't, hopefully you're near a gas station or a rest station. And if there's none of that, you're going to want to get to the closest off-ramp to get out of there. So let's say you've got a nice shoulder, you've pulled over. The next thing you're going to do immediately is put on your emergency brake and your flowaway flashers before you even get out. Then you're going to get out of your vehicle after you've grabbed your safety traffic vest, like I know each and every one of you has one. And you're going to get out of your vehicle on the passenger side, not the driver's side, because if you do that, you're exposing yourself to the oncoming traffic. Minimize your risk here. All right, so the next step is to grab your safety reflective triangles like I know you have. And you're going to need 3 of these. The first one you're going to place about 10 feet behind your vehicle. The other 2 about 100 feet apart in behind your vehicle. And at this point, if you're traveling with a companion, this would be a good time to have your companion at the farthest triangle, notifying traffic to slow down or move over to the other lane because there is an emergency up ahead. All right, now that you've got all your safety equipment in place, the next step is to remove the tire, which we will get into in a few minutes. But for teaching purposes, let's say you've got the tire removed. The next question you're going to ask yourself is, do I want to fix it or do I want to change it out for the spare tire? And the reason why I ask that is if you're stuck in inclement weather, you want to get out of there as fast as possible. And sometimes fixing it is the quicker option. And in order to do that, you're going to need a plug kit like this one here. So I'm just going to show you what the plug kit entails. So you've got this tool here. This is a tool that you're going to stick in the hole in order to make it bigger and to clean it out. You've got rubber plugs here. And you've got this tool here with an eyelid. This here is rubber cement. You're going to place the rubber cement on the plug. Then you're going to stick the plug into the eyelid. you're going to take this tool with the eyelid, stick it in the hole all the way in, pull it out. The plug is going to remain half in the hole and half outside. You can just cut off the part that's outside with a utility tool, and Bob's your uncle. Now, once you've done that, obviously you're going to want to fill the tire up. And in order to do that, you're going to need a portable tire inflator, such as this one here. This is the S100 Fantech. And, excuse me, and I love this tool. It comes with this hose here, which screws right into there. And on the other end, you've got the valve adapter right here. You just screw it on to the valve on your tire. Simply turn it on. You've got your plus and your minus. You either increase it to the desired pressure that you need or decrease it as you need to. Hopefully, you know what your tire pressure should be at. And the reason why I like this tool is because it comes with a USB-C charger, which means I don't need to stick the hose into my 12-volt cigarette lighter and hope that it can reach all the way to my back tires. This thing you can just carry around the entire vehicle and just fill up all your tires. Great thing to have. Just make sure you have it already charged when you need it. Now, I don't know about the Sprinters or the Ford Transits, but with these vehicles, the Ram ProMasters, the kit that comes with your vehicle comes in this box right here. And it's located right underneath the passenger seat, and it comes with everything that you need to change out a flat tire. Now, this ProMaster kit comes with your scissors jack, and of course it comes with your crank arms to lower the spare tire, which is located at the rear underneath of your vehicle. As you can see, there's the spare tire that needs to be lowered, and there's the crank arm hole that you need to insert the tool to lower the tire. So this here's the tool that goes in to that slot, and then obviously that tool inserts into the back of that, and then counterclockwise in rotation to lower the spare tire. So as you see here, it's quite simple. Counterclockwise, and you start lowering the spare tire. Now, this could take quite some time. It's not heavy manual labor or anything like that. It just takes a little bit of time. However, there are a few things that you can do to make your life a whole lot simpler and make this process much quicker. You can get yourself an impact driver, 13/16 socket or 21 millimeter socket. Which fits just like that. There you go. Much, much quicker. Now, I believe the process for each of the vehicles, like the Sprinters and the Ford Transits, along with the ProMasters, are all the same. I believe the tires are in the back underneath, and the tools are pretty much the same. So the process, I believe, is the same. And if I'm incorrect, I'm sure somebody out there is going to correct me. Now, I know there'll be somebody out there who will write in my comment section something like, in today's day and age, why do you need to know how to fix a flat when you can just call AAA or CAA? Well, you see, that's why we have a generation out there that can recite the Pythagorean theorem, but can't fix a flat. Write that one down. So my answer to that question would be this. If you're in a remote area way back in the backcountry and you get a flat and you expect CAA or AAA to come get you out of that bind when you call them, you're in for a surprise. They won't be coming. The other thing is that service you have to pay for annually each year. And third of all, If you happen to get a flat during inclement weather like a snowstorm, again, they ain't coming until it clears up, so you're going to be there for a while. So for those reasons, yes, I think it's pretty important that you know how to fix a flat or change out a tire. Now, one of the things you should do annually, I do it twice a year, but once a year is okay as well, is check the tire pressure on your spare tire. Not just the tires that are on your vehicle, but your spare tire. Lower it down and check the tire pressure to make sure it's at the proper inflation level, so that if you do get a flat and you need to change your tire, you want your spare to be at the right tire pressure. And in order to find that information out, get yourself one of these, a tire pressure gauge. And they're easy to operate. It's just this simple. You have your tire pressure valve, you stick this in. Now my tire should be at about 70 psi. Well, look at that. 70 psi right on the nose. Now once you've got your spare tire lowered, the next step is to change out your flat tire. And the first step into doing that is to loosen off your lug nuts. All right, so in order to remove or loosen off your lug nuts, you're going to need a tool to do that. And with the ProMasters, this is what they give you. Now this is supposed to remove the lug nuts. And I've got to tell you, I'm extremely disappointed with Dodge for putting this crap in the toolkit, because just have a look at this. That fits in there all right. Then check this out. That goes in there. And look at here. How are you supposed to get 143 pounds of torque with this amount of leverage? It's never going to happen. This is insane. Get yourself a breaker bar. This is a 1/2-inch breaker bar. Get yourself a 13/16 socket or a 21 millimeter socket. This is designed specifically to remove lug nuts from wheels with ease. Now, these lug nuts for this vehicle are set at 143 pounds of torque according to factory specs. Ain't no way that tool's going to do it. You're going to need a breaker bar. That wasn't so difficult as long as you got a breaker bar. Now, take the nut off, because this is important. You should be doing this once a year to check your lug nuts to make sure they're rust proof. And as you can see, look at this. There's rust all over there. And I'm pretty sure the rest of them are like that as well. So what you need to do is lubricate that a little bit, or anti-seize, to prevent that from happening. Now what I've got here is waterproof grease. And all you're going to do is get some of that grease and put it on there. Don't be shy. Just like that. That's all you need. Then put her back in there. All right. Now that you've saved yourself quite a bit of time by using an impact driver such as this one to put your lug nuts back on, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how do you know how much pounds of torque you've got on each lug nut? Well, your breaker bar isn't going to give you that information. What you're going to need is a torque wrench, such as this one right here. And as you can see, it comes in a nice protective case because you want to protect your torque wrench. Because inside here is a spring which is calibrated to let you know exactly the pounds of torque you're applying to your lug nuts. And if you allow water to get into this piece of equipment, it's going to throw off the calibration because that spring's going to get rusted out. So these torque wrenches are fairly expensive if you get yourself a good one. So don't cheap out when you get yourself a torque wrench. Get a good, reliable one. This one is up here in Canada from Canadian Tire, and this is their top of the model from their line of Mastercraft Maximum. And these things are very easy to operate. Now, it comes in both pounds, right here, pounds, and on the other side, it comes in newtons. Now, what you want to do is you want to set your dial here, and in order to set your dial, you take this dial right here, press it down, and you torque this way to increase the torque, and back this way to decrease the torque. So what you want to do is take the 0 dial right here. So there's the 0. It's set at 130. I want 143. You turn this. There's 10, makes it 140. There's 12, 142, and in the middle, 143. It's really not rocket science. Now, in order to check the torque on there, you're going to need your socket again. So place your socket in there. Once you got it into your lug nut, you're going to torque it, turning it clockwise, and it should torque out at 143 pounds. Now, you're going to hear 2 clicks. The first click tells you you've reached 143, and then the second click is when you back off to release the pressure. All right, did you hear that? 2 clicks. The first one tells me it's at 143. The second one is because I released the pressure. And it's that easy to torque it out. And that's it, how you know exactly how much torque you've got on your lug nuts. Okay, before I move on to the next issue, I want to just touch on a few more things. And one is, get yourself a good pair of leather gloves, especially if you are in a northern climate, because in -degree temperatures, your bare hands are not going to do well with metal tools. Get yourself a pair of good work gloves. Now, when it comes to your breaker bar, these aren't as important as your torque wrench. These are cheap. They go for about 25 bucks. That's what I got this one for at Home Depot. Now, when it comes to your impact driver, the first thing you need to do is know the size of your lug nut, because that has to be the same size. This particular one is a 1/2 inch lug nut, so I've got a 1/2 inch impact driver. Most vehicles are 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, all the way up to 1 inch. This one, like I said, is 1/2 inch, so I got the 1/2 inch brushless 20 volt impact driver, 3 speeds with a work light integrated into it. And it's brushless because they last longer and they're much quieter. It came with a 20 volt 2 amp battery. Now, this battery is not going to last very long if you're going to have to change out your tires. So I waited until the batteries went on sale, and I got myself a pair of 20 volt 4 amp batteries to go with it. And the thing about these batteries is they're lithium, and they're going to last a whole lot longer when you're changing out your tire. Just be sure you have them recharged with the charger that comes with your impact driver. All right, let's move on to the actual tire change process itself. Now, each vehicle comes with a tire changing kit, and this one comes with this scissor jack here. This one's kind of beefy, and it tells you right on here the maximum rating is 2,400 kilograms. That's a lot. Anyways, this will do the job. It comes with this tool in here as well. you stick it on this side and you turn it to raise it all the way up. However, as you can see, that's going to take quite a bit of time. So let's get back to your impact driver right here. This is going to speed up the process fairly quickly. Put her in. That's a hell of a lot quicker, don't you think? So as you can see right here, there's a little knob right there, and that's there for a specific purpose. Now, if anyone has ever tried to change out a tire, trying to figure out the placement of your jack underneath your vehicle to start lifting it up, it can be quite difficult. So this one here eliminates that guesswork for you. Let me show you. I'll have to take you underneath. Okay, so have a look right here. There's a hole right there. That is specifically for that knob right there. Fits in there. Then you jack it up and it fits right in there. Just like that. Now, the scissor jack will do just fine, and these tools will also get the job done. However, like I demonstrated, your impact driver is going to cut down that time significantly. Now, something else I want to point out here, just let me close this door, is once you got your jack in there and you're lifting up your tire, it'll come off the ground, allowing you to change it out. However, now this is just me, this is my personal preference. I don't like to rely on the one jack itself. So what I did is I went out and bought a hydraulic jack that I also place underneath there as a second support in case the scissor jack fails or something goes wrong, it tips over. The hydraulic jack will hopefully do its job and hold it in place as well. The other thing I bought is a jack stand. As you can see, it's adjustable, and once I've got the jacks underneath there, lifting it to the desired height to change out the tire, I also place the jack stand underneath for additional support. I know it may be a little bit overkill, but I'll tell you, if the vehicle ever drops for any reason and you're underneath it, it's not going to look good. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That's the van essentials for emergency equipment that you're going to require while you're on the road in case you have to remove or fix a flat tire. Just before I go though, I do want to, one more point I want to point out with this torque wrench here, and that's this. There's a dial on the back here which makes this torque wrench reversible, but I caution you not to use your torque wrench to remove your lug nuts. You will destroy the spring in here and throw off the calibration. The torque wrench is only supposed to be used for checking the torque in pounds or newtons for those lug nuts. All right, before I sign off, I do want to make one more point on this issue about flat tires. Now, if you're in the market to purchase a new vehicle, there is something you need to be aware of, and that is many of these companies now do not provide tire changing tools or even a spare tire. And they say that's because they want to cut down on the costs and the space saving issue in the vehicles, which to me sounds very contradictory, since if you do end up getting a flat, you're going to have to shell out for a tow job, or you're going to have to purchase aftermarket spare tire and tools to go with it, or you're going to have to purchase roadside assistance. So there you have it, folks. Now, there are car companies out there who do provide spare tires and tools to go with it. However, these spare tires that you get are these little compact tires, which they call donuts. And that's what they look like, by the way. They're only designed to get you a short distance at a reduced speed to a gas station so that you can fix your full-size spare. Now, if you're in the market to get a new vehicle and it does come with one of these donut tires for a spare, always insist that they replace those with a full-size spare. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to purchase that on your own. Alright, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments on any of the pieces of equipment that I have demonstrated for you, please leave those down in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, heck, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe. It helps out my channel and it's free. Alright, until the next video, please stay safe out there and have a great day.